Hello everybody, my name is Joe Shelton and I'm a singer, songwriter, music producer, and recording artist from Indianapolis, Indiana. Over the last year, I've stepped out and performed music on over 200 stages. Along the way though, I met a lot of great people that I didn't expect to. They were inspiring artists and songwriters and musicians, and I want to share all of that inspiration with you. So that's what this show is about. Moonshine equals love, shine in love on the music. Moonshine and music starts now. Yes. Welcome to Moonshine and Music. Today we have Sam Stone with us. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing all right. Appreciate
Welcome
you having
to the show.
Thank you. It's about time, like I said. It's good to be sitting down at this table with you.
Yeah, you've rolled in. You live in Richmond, Indiana?
Yeah, I do. So for now.
How is it over there? Is it like, is that the Rose City or
It is the Rose City. It's one of many Rose cities. I think one of 6 Rose cities in Indiana.
There are 6 of them in Indiana alone?
Yeah, and they're all, you see them as you drive through 70, like the one that I'm familiar most with is Newcastle, which is only,
yeah, because the Rose Bowl is there, right? The bowling alley with the big rose on the side of it.
And we used to have a big road parade in Richmond, or road parade,
Rose parade that went around in Richmond.
It was on the road, but it was regarding roses. We have a rose garden, and it's honestly beautiful, but the rose parade is kind of a thing of the past anymore, but still, Rose City, I'm trying to bring that name back a little bit, and this is a little bit prettier than Richmond.
I think you should call your next album Rose City then.
I actually had an EP, my first EP that I ever released that I recorded.
Was it called Rose City?
It's called Rose City EP.
Well, I don't have a copy of that.
Well, man, I'll get you a copy. I haven't, I don't even think I have any hard copies of that, but I can cut them. I've got the MP3s and everything, so I'll get you one for sure.
Hardcore, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know I haven't heard that one. I would have remembered the name.
One of the songs I'm playing today is going to be off of that. It's one that's kind of stuck around with me. So,
all right. Yeah. That's cool. So did you grow up there? Were you born in Richmond? Or?
I wasn't. I was actually, I was born in Anderson, but, always around Indiana. I grew up in Economy, which is like one of the smallest one stoplight. It's not even a stoplight. It's like one of those yield
It's such an
lights.
Economical town that
it's exactly
as big as this microphone.
The entire economy of Economy was, the 2 pop machines that were down at the fire station, the volunteer fire station at that too. So, we always had our community events.
All the money was made from the Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah,
machine.
I'm sure they did some good business because it's either that or drive all the way out to Hagerstown at the IGA, which may or may not have. Coke
Hagerstown has Wellivers.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And back then that was a thing, but that was too rich for my family.
Really?
So, we didn't go there that often. It was like $10.
You can eat enough for like a year.
Yeah, I know, but look at me, man. I mean, that's going to last me 2 hours.
That place is so good. They got a shout out from me.
They are good. They are very good.
I mean, those chicken and noodles are something to dream for.
They're definitely legendary. So, they know their stuff, and food is one of my loves. But it's just something that buffets don't work for me because I fill up my stomach, and then, like I said, it burns off in like an hour, and then I'm hungry again. So it's like eating all day.
I wish that worked for me.
Well, to each his own. I wish that I could eat a little bit more in one sitting, but it is what it is.
So, what did your parents do growing up, living out in the economy? Were they farmers or?
Well, my parents are actually divorced. My mom was a CPA. She now lives out in Arizona with my stepdad, and they're basically buying and flipping houses. They're going to be moving back to Indiana, doing the same thing around here again sometime next year. But my dad, he's done all sorts of lab safety things with IU, but he plays guitar, and he's been musically inclined his whole life, and both of them had pretty significant impacts on my music. My mom, it was the 90s grunge, and then my sister came in with Red Hot Chili Peppers, and she would bring in all these different influences. And then of course my dad, he was the classic rock, what's now known as dad rock, the AC/DC, the Van Halens,
the good stuff.
The good stuff, yeah, the good stuff. And the crazy thing is, like, some of my best music memories were sitting out in my garage, and I would play some basic rhythm guitar, and my dad would just play some nuts like Van Halen stuff over top of it. And lead guitar has never been anything that I would ever call my strong suit, but I've learned a lot of my rhythm techniques from playing with my dad, and that's how I've kind of learned how to play with other musicians. So
have you been in a band with him, or?
With him, no, I haven't. We just out in the garage
you just
and
jam in the garage.
Yeah. That's just kind of what got me started, and he's the one that put my first guitar in my hands, and from there it was just kind of love at first sight. So music has kind of grown from there.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. So did you graduated from high school? Did you go to college at all?
Yeah, I went to college for a brief minute. And me being the flaky type that I am, college didn't last too long for me.
Where'd you go?
IU East in Richmond. Which is why I landed in Richmond. And then once I got there was a lot of outside influences that kind of led me in a different direction, made me realize that maybe I want to, make art with my time rather than, because I was going into pre-med, and I started getting into that. I was like, this is going to eat up all of my time. This isn't something I'm interested in doing. I had to put all of the music that, at the time I was very much a novice at, and I had to put all that to the side. And, I ended up making the decision that at least focus on this while I've got the time, and then maybe by the time I turn 70, I'll go back to college.
Well, that works.
Yeah,
So how many? I know you self-produce your records, and are they? Do you have? I can't remember. I know I listened to them on Bandcamp. Mm-hmm. Do you have them out in other places?
I've got Greenhouse Dweller, which is my only
Greenhouse Dweller's on Spotify.
Yeah, right? That's on Spotify. That's a full length. And then I've got a single that's going to be dropping on Spotify pretty soon. And that was a joint that I did with Oddity, who's from here in Indy. He's an amazing artist, really mastering his craft. And we got together on that. I sent him a track, and he just, laid out on that thing. So it's great.
Yeah, he's a hip-hop artist, right?
Yeah, he is. So this is, it's going to be part of a demo. It's called the Queso demo. And I'm about to release that in the next couple weeks, but most of that's going to be on Bandcamp, except for that one single called Tiptoes. That's going to be on Spotify. And then pretty soon, I had the good fortune of being part of Jen Roberts' Fourth Sunday Music Scholarship, thank you.
Right.
And we co-wrote a song together and recorded that, and then I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and hit up Craig and from Fourth Sunday and see if he'd be interested in having me in, and next thing you know, I'm the March artist. So in March, I'll be recording that, and that'll be going on Spotify too.
Well, that's excellent. So, for our people who don't know, Fourth Sunday Music puts together scholarships to basically pay for a day of recording time for artists, and it's a really great program.
It is.
And I can't wait to hear what comes out of it with Jen, because she's fantastic. And
it's great. Actually, that song's been semi-released, but as far as an official release on Spotify and everything,
I don't think I've heard it yet. So I need to. It's called
"Ode to a Dear Friend," and I'll link you to that and everything. But once that gets released,
when you do, I'll put that in the show notes too.
For sure. Yeah, I appreciate that. We've got all kinds of different shows that are going to be coming out of that. We've got one that they do the fourth Tuesday. I might be wrong on that. I think it's
it's
Tuesday.
the fourth Tuesday.
They do the showcase.
Do a live show, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Jen's going to have hers in January along with several other great local artists, and then mine will be in February. And then we've also got in the works potentially a show out of the Hi-Fi, and that'll be really cool too. So we got a couple things that are really coming up for next year. And then, of course, the big EP release. Talking about maybe doing either a joint EP release where she releases hers and I release mine at the same time, or it might be that she releases hers and then I just rep mine, and then I'll have a separate release where she'll play as well. So, we'll see, but it's big things coming for sure.
Well, that's a lot of fun. So do you find it's really exciting for you to collaborate with others? Man. Is that your favorite thing?
I love collaborating.
Because I can see it
honestly,
in you.
Honestly, I would love to jump on just about anything. If any genre, you name it. I love just seeing people really in with their passion and watching them in their zone, and being able to kind of share in that feeling is just amazing. And different artists all have so many different influences, so you're kind of bringing in this family tree together of different musicians all down through the ages that are all culminating in this one moment of you collaborating. It's just, I don't know, that's some magical stuff, man. I love collaborating. So like I said, plenty more of that in the future, but so far, being as far from Indy, which is where a lot of my favorite artists are, makes it a little difficult. But I do my best to get out here for sure.
Yeah, well, what is it, 90 minutes? ish.
Thereabouts. Yeah, depending on what part of Indy you're going to. So.
Because you're like right on the edge of Ohio.
Yeah, basically we are Ohio. We're honorary Ohio. So.
Honorary.
Yeah.
You get the big arch there on the highway, right?
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Next to
You know, whenever right before you go through the arch, you're like, hey, I think that's that Richmond place, and then you're in Ohio, and then you forget about it.
You also have like the RV place and everything that goes wild on the road.
Exactly.
And, like
yeah. That was a big deal for a while, and then he unfortunately passed away, and then it got bought out by this chain, and now it's just one of many RV
places.
Chains. Yeah.
Man, it used to be crazy, like on the highway, like there were like billboards like every 5 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Forever.
It was nuts. I mean, like that's how you knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now I'm definitely going to go buy an RV because I've seen so many signs.
Exactly.
That's why I want a motorhome.
Right. Exactly.
Didn't want one before, but now that I've driven down I-70, I'm in.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Do you are you gonna get out and into Ohio much, or is it do you just
I
kind of
do
come
play
this
in
way?
Ohio every now and then. The kind of the hub of my operations in Ohio has been Yellow Springs, which is just on the other side of Dayton. I've got a lot of friends that live out there. Played several shows out there. The Spirited Goat is great. Peaches Bar and Grill is great. And just the little village in and of itself is just a really cool community. Everybody's super supportive. And I really like it out there. I've delved into a couple things here and there. I played down at the Yellow Cab Tavern in Cincinnati and a couple other places dotted here and there, but I normally just return to Yellow Springs, but maybe in the future I'll be getting down to Cincinnati a little bit more because I think Cincinnati's a really cool community. But first I've got to kind of get my bearings in Indy, and then we'll branch out from there. So
well, it's just a curiosity.
Yeah,
along
definitely.
the way. So have you ever been in a band, or has it always just been Sam Stone with others?
I've been in a couple jam bands, but we've never played any shows. I've never played a show with another artist. Biggest reason, there's two big reasons. One of them is that a lot of people don't have the amount of drive that I'd like to see in an artist. You know what I mean? It's got to be something that not only you're going to show up for the show, you're going to show up for every practice ahead of time. We can't just, have one little jam practice and be like, all right, we're ready for a show. I take that back, actually. I've got a buddy of mine in Richmond. His name is Moises, and we did play one show. I've played one show with him that we billed ourselves as, what was it? Sir Psychedelic and the Funky Jam Band, I think, and it was just the two of us. So yeah, it was great. We did mainly Nirvana covers really badly, and it was really windy. And there was a lot of bounce back because it was down the gorge in Richmond, and there's like this huge cement wall on the other side, and it was pretty atrocious, but it was a lot of fun.
It had some really delayed echo.
Yeah, it was really weird, but it also worked really well because we did this cover of War Pigs, and somehow like that opening, whenever you really first hit that opening, it was just glorious coming back, but the rest of it just sounded like trash.
Too bad you couldn't turn that off afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Too bad it wasn't just like
it wasn't like a switch.
Yeah, or there couldn't be like a crew that
kill the delay.
Yeah, exactly. Like brought out this big wall that's blocking it or something. I don't know. And then another thing that just has never really clicked for me with other musicians is direction. People have a certain direction they want to go, and a lot of people have like this set concrete idea that this is the kind of music I want to make, this is the kind of music I'm going to write, etc. And for me, that's not what music should be about. To me, it's I want to make music regardless of the form it takes. And like I said, that comes back to the collaboration that any kind of genre, any kind of influence, it's all, I don't know, you can't really get a good sound unless you're combining multiple types of music, and a lot of other artists aren't really as interested in that. So that's something I've kind of clashed with other people about. They're like, man, we should sound like the Rolling Stones, and I'm like, forget about that, dude, that's stupid. The Rolling Stones has been done, they're great, but we're not the Rolling Stones, forget about it. So I don't know.
Why would you want to be another band?
Exactly.
You want to be you, whatever you are.
And some of the best musicians that I've ever met, especially out of Richmond, they're trying to be other musicians, and you can read it. They might be really beautiful musicians, great guitar players, great singers, but they're trying to sound like somebody else, and it just reads as trying to sound like somebody else. You know what I mean? So that's why it always really stands out to me when it's like, wow, this is a totally original artist trying to do their own thing. You can see their influences, but it doesn't sound like they're just remaking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, when there's like a cover tune like that you're doing, some of them like are hard for me to do because it's a thing where you step into that artist,
Right, exactly.
And you know, some songs are so popular or whatever that if you try to do something weird with them, then everybody like kind of gets turned off.
It's like blasphemy, you know.
Yeah.
Like I do this Sublime.
Like you kind of have to almost like, you know, if you want to like pull the cover off,
right,
kind of
sure.
do it.
For sure.
Subtly different,
I have
because
this
otherwise
Sublime
you're just
cover
like
that I have to read the crowd on. It's What I Got, you know, the song everybody knows.
Lovely, yeah,
I have to kind of read the crowd depending on how I do the chorus, and if it's a crowd that seems like they're going to kind of flow with it, then I can do the chorus my way. But otherwise, you better do that chorus the way Sublime did it, or else it's not going to go over well, you know.
I mean, the whole song is the chorus, really.
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, I've noticed that if you, because, you know, over the time of playing shows, you can really make people like almost mad at you.
You better believe it.
Like I know one of them for me is I don't sound anything like Johnny Cash.
Right.
And so I hardly ever do a Johnny Cash song, even though I love him, because I can't play it anywhere like that. So it's always something dramatically different.
Right.
And so like people are like, "What are you doing to Folsom Prison Blues?" I'm like, well, but I mean, it's terrible if I try to sing it like Johnny Cash, so I'm just going to do it my way.
And you know, maybe this isn't the right attitude, but I think that's a good thing. You know, I think it's really cool to get out there, and if your audience isn't at some point going, "What are you doing?" Then I mean, what are you doing? You know,
Totally
I mean, you're not a cover band. You know,
Yeah, well,
go out
I mean,
there,
you know,
do your thing, and when the audience is like, "What are you doing?" Be like, "I'm doing me." You know.
Yeah,
That's
I just you know, I try to avoid it with stuff that I really like too.
No, yeah.
It also kind of feels like blasphemy to me.
Yeah, nothing's
Right.
worse than getting that recording of a cover you make that you played, and it's like, oh God, what was I doing? That
Yeah,
sounds
well,
awful. Yeah. Should have just
awful.
left it to Johnny Cash.
I just like destroyed Johnny Cash up there tonight.
Yeah,
Just, like,
exactly.
wronged him in every way.
Right.
He's rolling over in his grave.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's that's what I try to avoid anyway. But you know,
Right.
We're differing levels of successful with that, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I you know, it's great to do your own stuff though. Do you
Yeah.
do a lot of covers when you play now?
I really don't. Normally I'll sprinkle a couple covers in there here and there, and again, those are normally my kind of takes on the covers, but there are some that I do pretty close to the originals. But for the most part, I try to play originals just because that's what, you know, I've been writing, and I like to share that. And I don't know, it's worked out pretty well so far. So.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, you want to play 3 of those originals for us today?
Let's do it, yeah.
All right, man. We're going to be right back on Moonshine and Music. Sam Stone live on our stage. Thank you, Sam, for coming in, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
This one's called Devil Woman. This is the one I was telling you about. It's on that EP that I released, the first EP I've ever released. It's stuck around. I've changed around a little bit. The first time it came out, it's Pagan Woman, but it came out a little different this time around.
Salt around my house so you can't get in. I know you can't cross the threshold uninvited. I know you can't freeze me if I don't look you in the eye. So tell me why I find that you're in my mind. Whatever, woman, get out of my head. Whatever, woman, get out of my head. Whatever, woman, get out of my head and crawl your devil way into my bed. carved into my chest. I think one more night with you would be for the whole devil woman. Get out of my head, whole devil woman. Get out of my head, whole devil woman. Get out of my head and crawl your devil away. Oh, sell my soul just to get one more night with you. I'd sell my soul just to get one more night with you. But darling, I already pawned that shit, so I guess that this sacrifice will have to do. Whatever, woman, what do I gotta do to summon you? Salt around my house so you can't get in. I know you can't cross my threshold uninvited. I know you can't freeze me if I don't look you in the eye. So tell me why you're still sitting in my mind. Thank you. Like I said, that's the oldest one I'm going to be playing. These next two actually have only recently gotten finished. This is one that used to always just be a pretty simple sound check song. And then I kind of started messing around with it and it turned into something else. Well, I need you tonight. Yeah, I need you tonight, girl. Yeah, I need you tonight just like I need you every other night of my life. 'Cause I don't do too well on my own. No, I don't do too well on my own. I see you looking at me from across the room. And I can see just a peek of your upper thigh tattoo, girl. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that I'm right. I believe that I'm gonna wind up going home with you tonight. But anyway, I need you tonight. Yeah, I need you tonight, girl. Yeah, I need you tonight just like I need you every other night of my life. 'Cause I don't do too well on my own. No, I don't do too well on my own. Oh, here's the real solo. It goes a little bit like this. I can't play lead. If the deal is feeling nice, I'll wind up home with you tonight. But it all depends on how I play my cards. I hope it's right. 'Cause I told you I don't do too well when I'm sitting on my own. But baby girl, I'd put you up on your throne. night of my life, 'cause I don't do too well on my own. No, I don't do too well on my own. Thank you. All right. This last one's called Keep Talking, and this is kind of the one that inspired the whole 4-Sunday EP that I'm going to be releasing sometime in March or April. It goes a little bit like this. I think this conversation's over. I think this conversation's through. Speed up a little bit here. I think this conversation's over. Now tell me what you wanna do. Your mouth keeps on moving, darling, but it don't seem like you said a thing. I guess you'll have to excuse me, baby. That fat lady's done gone insane. I think this conversation's over. I think this conversation's through. I think this conversation is over. Now tell me what you wanna do. You don't know me from Adam, baby. Don't believe I know you from me. But I've had too much to drink tonight, and I think it's time I take my leave. I think this conversation's over. I think this conversation's through. I think this conversation is over, and I think I'm done talking to you. Leave me to my own devices. My mama taught me wrong from right. But if the deal is feeling nice, then I'll wind up home with you tonight. I think this conversation's over. Oh, I think this conversation's through. I think this conversation is over. I think this conversation's through. Oh, God. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Moonshine and Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. Copyright 2018, all rights reserved. Our producer for today's show was Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double was Brent Lee Smith. And also helping out on cameras, setup, and all sorts of other things, Bailey Shelton. Thank you for joining us, and join us next week on Sunday for Moonshine and Music.